Hello everyone, welcome to our Render Spaz video tutorial, and today we are going to create these Firecracker Ice Pops, or if you want to call them rocket popsicles. And we're going to create these using very simple methods to get the shape in pretty much like a simple popsicle stick, and then just set up a simple scene with Arnold Render to get this result. Alright guys, so let's get started and yeah, follow along and see what we can come up with. Alright, let's get going with creating our main shape of the Firecracker Ice Pop. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to our spline tool here, and we are then going to look for, let's see, we're going to try doing a star. Let's try that first. And so as we drag this out onto our grid, we can start to shape out kind of the general shape. So let's ice pops, but okay, whatever, you know. So let's bring maybe this one in. It's too small. You guys get the point. So we're just going to try to make something like that. So what we're going to use is a star, and we'll come into where we have the fillet radius, and we can start to mess with that. Let's just go into our modifier here and now start to play with getting some roundness here. Okay. And then also here as well. So we're going to get something kind of like that. Okay. Hopefully you get the idea. And what we're going to do here is let's add an extrude modifier to this. So this is going to give us some mesh. I'm going to center this guy out, okay, just on the grid, and then let's extrude up. And I believe this is not too bad. So we can start to customize this. I'm going to call this the base. We're going to customize the star just a bit here, just to kind of tighten these guys up a bit. Maybe round them off. Something like that. Perfect. Okay. We want it just a little bit. Yeah, let's make it kind of like this for now, because I'm going to add a turbo smooth or some kind of subdivision surface here. So I'm just going to have it a little bit more low poly at this point. Easier to work with. And so what we can do now is we can start to extrude this up a little bit more. So let's go to the extrude, bring it up. Okay, I'm going to go about here for now. All right, this is perfect for the shape. Now what we can do is create an edible poly modifier here on top of the stack. And we can now select our edges completely here and hit connect. And you're going to get an extra edge here. And this is going to allow us now to start to taper. So let's bring this up just a bit more. And what we're going to do is we're going to just taper this down like so. Okay, I might actually want to bring this up. So I'm just going to shape this out real quick here. Let's just go here. All right, and get a little more reference here, but it's okay. This is just a start. All right, we're just trying to shape some things out here. And then I'm going to extrude, because what we have, like this is not, I want this more of a shape here. So let me see if I can get a little more high res of the tip. We want this to kind of taper off, and then these grooves kind of fade off into the end part, right? So what we're going to do is try to find something a little bit better with the reference. That should work. And also this is great for material as well. So this is, I kind of don't want this one. Let's go with this. Okay, this is perfect. So as you can see, this kind of tapers off, so we're going to keep an eye on that. And what we're going to do now is just extrude another time here, or just one more. And let's get us more into this. for now, and then I'm not gonna focus too much on the accuracy of the shape at the moment. But what I want to do now is work on just kind of doing the transition within the ends here. So let's just bring this guy down a bit more. Okay, and so what we're going to need to do is let's do a connection. Let's start to connect some of these guys together so that it'll make more sense once I add the smooth modifier. So, or turbo smooth. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to add some cuts. Okay, so I'm going to come across. Let's start connecting all these guys. Okay. So I wonder if I go this way. So what I want to do here is focus on quads as best as you can. Okay. Could have went this way as well. Not there. Okay, we're just making sure we have no end guns. That should be good. Oh, we got a little problem here. So let's just get rid of this. Okay, let's just check to make sure nothing else is giving us an issue. Okay. And then also we should be doing it here as well. Let's do that real fast. Okay. What's going on here? Let's make sure there's no end guns. It's not a big deal. I mean, this is a very organic shape. We're not like creating hard surface car body parts and stuff where end guns you don't really want. But let's just see here. If I was to go by the rule book here. I'm not going to be too fixated on that right now, but there we go. It's a little better. Okay, I think this one too has to get that as well. So let's just go back into here and target weld. Oh, we're good, we're good. I thought, oh, right here, no. Almost got away on me there. So let's just move that across. Same with this one. I think we also have it here as well. Okay, good enough for now. All right, so once we add our turbo smooth, you're going to see we actually have quite the shape. It's getting there. If we add a little more, see, now we got some pinching going on, so we can fix that. That's not a problem. It's because, yes, when I was doing the cuts, this kind of went in and had its own path here. So let's just kind of change that and fix this up. Okay. Just make sure nothing else looks strange. I think that looks good. That looks good as well. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to work on this part here. I'm going to get the cylinder section in, and then we're just going to do that whole taper part. So we're going to just focus on that, because that's pretty much, this is the main shape. Pretty straightforward. It's not too bad. It's not that much complex. It's not too complex. So what we're going to do is let's start to bring in these guys. So what I can see right away is that we just need to target weld these areas here into each other. Okay. Target weld. It's fine for now. We'll work on that. Okay, so that kind of goes like that. And now we have this cylinder shape, and this is perfect because this is kind of what we're looking for. I'm gonna have to fix. Let's see here. Let's just clean this up a bit. I'm gonna go over to our target weld. Okay, I'm gonna do this quick. And let's just grab. So here, I'm going to say grow one more time. And now we can extrude this up. And we'll taper back down a bit here, I guess. Let's try it like that. What we could do is inset. A little bit of an edge. Go up. And then you can just kind of, let's go back in here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on getting the shape a little bit closer. So I'm going to bring this down a bit. This will be shorter. And we have a little bit broader shoulders here, so let's just kind of give that a little bit of a lift. Okay. Not too bad. I've got a little bit of an issue here, so let me just on our stack here, what's going on with the Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of smooth these guys out just a bit. Okay, so I'm going to use the edge tool, and I just want to kind of bring this out a little bit just so that we can start to kind of round this off so it's not so square. So we'll just try to even out your edges here just so that this will kind of be a little bit better when it comes to the smoothness. But the thing is too is we can get away with a little bit of imperfection because this is just a popsicle, so it's just you know, it's very organic. It's got an organic shape. It's not totally gonna be perfect. So it's just trying to clean it up just a bit, round it off. It's okay if these move a bit down here. Oh, here we go. This is a problem. So we're going to collapse these guys. Make sure we do not have anything going on like that. And actually, if you run the Turbo Smooth, you're going to see okay. Looks good. All right, so what we want to do is I'm going to get that you can see that here right now ours just is very rounded here. So what I want to do is I want to just sharpen that up a bit, maybe just tighten it up so that it makes a little more sense here. Let me just go in here and find, I'm going to have to add another edge, or just, yeah, right here. Okay, so what we're going to do is grab this edge and we're going to chamfer. We're going to make sure we're set to try. And we're just going to bring these guys upwards a little bit here. Well, make sure you're not on edge constraint. And then just kind of go like that. And then we can take this guy deeper down a bit. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to bring out some of these edges. So I'm going to go to Editable Poly here. We're going to let's ring here. And then we're going to go loop. Chamfer. Like this. Now what we're going to do here is let's grab all these guys here and let's just hit the weld. So they collapse to each other like so. And then these guys as well, what we could do is actually, we can bring them up closer here as well. And let's weld those guys together. Okay, I think that's kind of what we want to do. And there you go. So now I have a little bit more of a little more detail here. Okay, so down here we got to pay attention to what's going on here. So what I'll have to do is try to get these guys all set back up again. So that's not a problem. Target weld all these guys together. Okay, let's see. Turbo smooth here. Alright, so we're going to add the turbo smooth back, and then we're just going to kind of we'll grow this a bit. Okay, and so once we do that, that's going to create some roundness to our object. In fact, if I want, I can just grab these 4 vertices. Let's hit soft selection. Okay, and then we're going to just use a fall off here, but we're just going to want to bring in maybe just like that, just to kind of, let's see if I can just even go a little more. That's it. Maybe even a little bit more. Let's not be shy. Let's go maybe to about almost around 10. There we go. Let's bring that kind of out. Right. It's okay if it's a little uneven. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, this is what's the beauty of a lot of food modeling here. We don't have to really worry about too much of perfection with the surfaces. So we're going to go to, we've got a little issue here, and that's not a problem. I don't know how this got pinched. But that's okay. We can fix that right up. Okay, so let's do this really quick. I think we just need to add an edge. Okay, we'll just collapse this. So I'm going to come over to our cut tool, and we're just going to cut here. Let's get rid of the cross part here. Okay, this probably won't happen to you as well, but if it does, this is just how you kind of work around it if that happens. Just gonna take the cuts here. Let's go over here. Let's take these guys out. Yeah, it's probably gonna be bent down a little bit. That's okay. We're gonna fix the shape. So we'll bring that kind of out in this way here. All right, good enough. All right, so now we have pretty much the popsicle. Now, what's happening here is that this is a little bit too thin, so I'm just gonna get this a little bit. Let's bring this out just a bit. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Okay, and then what I want to do is I'm going to do one more edge here. Chamfer that. That's it, just to smooth that off. Okay, so we've got a shape like this. Let me bring this back up just a bit. Well, that looks good. All right. So right now we have, let's see what we can fix. Let's go fix this up just a bit here. Let's clean it up. All right, so now that everything's cleaned up, we are now going to build in our the stick part here. Okay, the handle. Just move this up a bit more, just like that. Okay, so to do that, we can let's just go with the spline. And we're going to use a rectangle, and we're going to come down like so, and then we're going to then take the this edible spline. We're going to grab these guys here. We're going to do a fillet here, and that's going to round this off like so. Okay, and now we can bring this like this. Let's just bring that out, and we're going to extrude. We get kind of this here, and we have a little bit of thickness, maybe a 0.5, and then we're going to then for this edible poly, we're going to chamfer. Now what I'm going to do is just select the edge. Okay, all the way around. Same with here. Here. Okay, I just want to make sure everything is selected here. What I'm going to do is just going to chamfer right to here. Something like that. Actually, before I chamfer, I just want to do one thing here. Let's go back. And I just want to take the smoothness off, okay? There we go. And we're just going to crank up the this area here. This way it just kind of smooths it off. Okay, so what I want to do here is just take a look at maybe rounding this area off here. So what we can do for that is let's just see if what happens if we try to actually select these edges. Okay, or actually I can go here, grow. Okay, let's just see if I was to relax this, what would we get? So I'm going to come over to relax. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. Just want to kind of relax it a bit, just so it's not too strong here. Something like that. Okay. Now let's just take a look at the shape and make sure everything looks kind of correct in that area of things. So it's not too bad. I think we can possibly bring this down just a bit. Also the stick just down a little bit. It's going to be a little bigger. Alright, so now I'll just bring down the handle. And there we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Another thing I could do is just try to see if I could just I'm going to come around here, select all of these faces here. Let's just see. I'm going to try this out. It's a little bit flat on this side, so we're just going to take each of these edges. We're going to hit ring, and we're going to now get something like this. I'm going to just bring out some of these guys here. Just go to our, there we go. If I want, I can use a push modifier, I believe, and this might give us a little bit of a, yes, that's what I'm looking for. So now you do something like this. Okay, it's going to get a little bit more definition. Okay, but then what I want to do is I almost want to relax some of this as well. So let's just take the edge facing off because I just want to be able to see what I'm doing here. So we did the push, now we got the relax, and I just want to see what's going on here. And I think, yes, I think that's looking pretty good. We can always, maybe it's a little bit too relaxed. Let's tighten it up just a bit. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, that looks cool. Because that's going to really show up in the render. It's going to look good. Now we can start to actually render this thing, and that's the fun part. That's what I look forward to. So if we want to, we can also round this off a little bit more. It looks kind of strange, but you know what? Everything's looking pretty good so far. I can't be fixated on it too much, and there's a little bit of an issue there. I don't know if it's because I just moved it up. Yeah, just leave that around. Leave that be. All right. So let's get everything kind of in place here, so we can start to build the renders. So right now we got it's a very large popsicle, so we're gonna just bring that down. Maybe just bring it up like so. And there we go. Okay, so we have now these ice pop. So what we're gonna do is let's bring in our friend Arnold Render here, and I'm just going to go to render setup. So before I set up anything, I want to do 800 by 600 is fine for now. Let's just bring in our render view. Okay, so now we can start to work on our materials. Okay, and I'm just gonna get us all set up here. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up an HDR just to kind of get some reflections and some lighting happening here. And then we can work on our advanced materials for the base of the ice pop, where we're getting to have that gradient. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to have this red, and it's going to tie in with the white and blue. And we want to keep focus on some noise. If you can really see here what's going on, you get a little bit of reflection. There's some roughness going on here. It's not completely glossy, but there's enough for light to kind of bounce off. You got some noise. If you really want, you could go into some particle effects to kind of get some like ice little build-ups throughout to get that really macro details, so in case you're trying to do like a product shot. But here you can see we have some also noise breaking up the gradient as well for the colors. So we're gonna keep that in mind, and then we're just gonna kind of build and see what we can come up with. All right, and yeah, let's try that. And actually, one thing I did notice on the model that I don't like is I just want to tighten up down here. I just want to bring, there we go. Just feel like that shouldn't be too rounded down there. It's pretty, tighten that up just a bit. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so let's start off with creating a Arnold light. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we are in the type here. We're going to go into Skydome, and we'll just throw that down like so, and we just get like a base white, and that's okay because we can now tie in an HDR light or an HDRI map that will then create our reflections. Okay, so I'm going to click on the No Map section here, and let's bring in an environment light. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So what you do is actually you can look for, should be, where is it here? The OSL. Okay, so we're looking for the OSL shader. I'm going to go over and find environment map. We're going to go into HDRI environment, and now we can select one of our environments here. So I'm just going to pick, let's go bring that over here. Let's see, a small hanger. Let's try that. So we can plug it in and see what we get. Okay. So one thing I want to do is go to our render setup tab here, or actually, sorry, not render setup. We're going to go over to our color management, and if you're using a later version of 3ds Max, like a 20, I think it's, I don't know if it's 2023 they started. I think it's 2024, but you have the color management options where you can now bring in your ACES. So I just like working with ACES because the color is so much better, especially when it comes to the range of lighting and making sure the exposure is good and everything. This works really well, and the colors are just brilliant. All right, so let's bring that back in, and now we can start to work on our lighting a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a base material for now. All right, so we're going to go to Arnold Surface, Standard Surface Shader. Okay, let's just drag this guy onto the base here, and we'll hold Shift, and we'll also call this pop stick. Base color just for now. I don't think that matters right now for that, but for the popsicle stick, we can go with kind of like something like that for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the OSL map here, and as you can see, this is kind of the lighting that we're working with right now. It's an indoor lighting, which I like to use as just as something to kind of get us going with the materials. I'm going to bring up the exposure just a bit, okay, just so we can get an idea. Okay. So that's it. We just have that sky dome light there, and now we can start to work on the materials. All right, so what we want to do is we want to use a gradient. So we can start with our base colors, and then we're going to start to fine tune the popsicle here. All right, so let's go into our material, and let's begin to work this out. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this small as possible here. It's hard when you're trying to record. I have two monitors set up, and usually I scatter everything around. It makes it easier to work, but because I'm trying to record this video, I gotta kind of squeeze everything in here, and I'm a little bit choppy with it all, but that's okay. We'll get there. Okay, let's go to the base, and let's start to bring in our base color. Okay, so what we're going to do is drag out, and I'm going to go with, I'm going to use 3ds Max's or the standard gradient. Okay, so if you go into general, you can go into your gradient ramp. Okay, and you're going to get something like this. And so right now, what we have is probably not set up correctly yet, but if I was to do a linear, sorry, not linear, if I was to go into the gradient type and I say I want, not box, sorry, you know what, I'm doing this wrong here. Let's go into here, I think it's solid, right? I'm looking for solid, that's it. So, if you go to white, okay, what's going on here is I don't know. I should go to white now. Oh, maybe that's, sorry, this has to be white. It's been a while. Okay. So as I go 90 degrees, what do we got? We got nothing. So what we need to do is to see this happen, we need to create a UVW map, and we'll make sure it's under cylinder. And there we go. So now we're starting to see the color, okay? So make sure you have that applied. I had to put this at 90 degrees, but now we have something to work with here. So we can slide this around, and this is going to update. Perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. Alright, so what we're going to do is just drag this down. Okay, and we do have a little bit of a soft edge. So technically using a solid, it might not work. So an ease in is a little bit better. And then by bringing another point here and then just tightening it up, you're going to see we're going to get a little bit of softness towards the edge here. Okay, and that's kind of what we're trying to achieve when it comes to the two colors connecting in. Right, so we got something like this. We can tighten this up just a little bit more. Okay, and yeah, there's a little bit of noise breakup in there as well. We'll get to that part shortly. But right now what we want to do is let's change the color and get it out of the black and go into red. Okay, or something like this. Okay. And actually what I want to do, let's copy that number there. Let's go over here, put that number in here as well. We can keep it the same. Okay, and as well here. Okay, so we have something like this. And then what we're going to do next is we are going to do the blue side. So the blue, we can bring something kind of close to the color here. And as well, we're going to do it here. So actually, brighten it up a bit. Take this number or that code. Okay, let's bring the code in. Let's hit OK. And then we also want to add one more point there. Let's make it blue. For some reason, I think what's happening, for some reason that wasn't working when I applied that code, but that's okay. We have this looking pretty good so far. We can always tweak the colors later. I am not too worried about getting exactly the accuracy of the colors at the moment. Just trying to get things to kind of work here. I'm going to bring this down a bit too as well. Something like this. Okay, so that's looking pretty good, and that's kind of the colors that we want to do. And you can see this is actually, if you go on the lighter side here, you can see that this is looking pretty decent. All right, so now, as you notice, we have a lot of shine going on here. This popsicle would not be shiny unless it's melting. Even then, it would have some type of breakup in the surface. So we need to add a little bit of some noise into the top part, the surface of this area. So let's do this, and I'm gonna try doing a displacement. I mean, you probably can get away with a bump map. I am a big fan of displacements because you just get that nice detail. So let's try that first, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a Arnold. Something's gotten a little slow. Okay, here we go. We're going to add an Arnold properties, and we're going to come down to displacement. We're going to enable that, and I believe if we use a map, we could probably get away with, I would say, let's use an Arnold displacement. Let's start with that, Arnold bump map, okay, for the displacement. So we're going to go to texture. We're going to go into noise. And now we have it here, okay? So what we're going to do is go into our Arnold properties. We're going to look for displacement slot here. We're going to use that map. We're going to drag this guy over into the displacement map. We're going to create an instance of this, and wow, we have something very funky going on here, but it's working, right? As long as the map is working, that's all that matters. And we can mess with this all day long. Got people honking outside. It's awesome, and it's a good day. It's a nice day outside, so people are getting rowdy out there. All right, so as you can see here, we have we're gonna bring down some of this, and I'm just want to settle them out, but something like this. Okay, let's go let's go 2. Something like this. I'm going to bring down just want to settle them out, but it should work. And then if I so I'm just going to play around with this a little bit here, and I'm going to get a warning, which is good, because what I want to do is add this padding. Okay, so what it's telling me is the padding is, they recommend right now, the padding is at least 10 times smaller than it should be. So given that, we need to apply, let's give it a number like this here. I'm going to copy that number, and what I like to do is come down over to the displacement panel here, get rid of the warning. So if I clear that out, that should get rid of the warning there. All right. Oh, this is starting to look really cool as it starts to sharpen up. This is going in a good direction. Okay, so let's go and height. Let's put it to 2. Let's see what we get out of that. That's not looking too bad right now. Okay. Can we add some distortion? 0.1. Let's just see what that looks like. That gives us some randomness. I like that. Okay, you can see some bits and pieces kind of moving around. That looks, that's not too bad. I might go 0.05, just a little less. All right. It's looking all right. Okay. And then what we can do is, now I'm wondering for the noise, okay, so for our roughness, let's add in a noise from 3ds Max's standard noise, and that'll just kind of break up some of our reflections here. Okay, so let's just kind of make this smaller. Let's go about 1. Alright, so we're starting to see something like this. We do fractal, and it's maybe 8. Okay, so we get some nice breakup, and just try to get a little bit of breakup throughout. Something like this. Okay. Then we're just going to tone down a little bit of the specular, so we don't need a lot of it. It's too much. Alright, so maybe like 0.5. Okay, and then you have this kind of this look going on here. Alright, so this is looking good, and I think we can pretty much tighten up some things here that we can, yes, we could use the range. We could bring the range back in, but actually what I could do here is just, yeah, let's try it one more time here. So let's type in range here. Just want to try one more thing. I just wanted to get just a little more glossier here. along the line, this is where I'm trying to find the let's just do 0.05. Let's come over here. It just doesn't seem to, the range doesn't seem to go with the, I don't know if it's just not working with the noise map of the, I don't think it is working with the noise map of 3ds Max's standard noise. So let's just bring this back into the roughness here. Alright, so now you're going to get something like this here. What we want to do is add a subsurface material. So we're going to grab this guy. Let's bring him down into subsurface color. And now we can apply subsurface, which I'm going to make sure I'm doing random walk version 2. And let's bring in subsurfacing. Okay, this is where it starts to look really realistic. Already by just applying a 1. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to dial it down just a bit so we can get some definition, but you can see now we're starting to get, you know, a little bit of the shadows. So if I go to this guy, you can see we're getting that shadow a little bit in there as well. And maybe we can go 0.8. But you see what I'm saying here is you get this kind of realistic ice cream look. Or sorry, the popsicle, kind of like the like ice, you know, light coming through, and you're seeing a pretty cool effect here already. What I might want to do is dial down our white a little bit because it's too bright. So if we go to our, or if I do it here. Okay, I might just kind of somewhere around there. There we go, just so we can see a little more detail. And then our blue might be a little bit strong, so let's just kind of bring that down a little, maybe a little more darker. Something like that. Don't mind if there's a little bit of brightness there. Okay, but you might get something like that. And then we just got our stick here. We just got to kind of try to get a texture for that. So let's do an Arnold surface material, and we're looking for the diffuse. I'm going to bring that in. Okay, I just have the Explorer up. I'm using plywood, and actually I'm using it from Polyhaven. Okay, so I can put Polyhaven. I'll put the link in the description, and you can get the plywood material from there. But this is pretty much what we're using here, and this should do it for the texture for the popsicle stick. So we're just gonna drag that in, and it's gonna make a, let's see, okay. Sorry. So I'm gonna go UVW map. Something like this, but what I just need to do, it's very subtle. Okay, we don't need that much texture, so I'm going to just scale this up. Oh, do not scale the let's not do that. Let's scale the texture. Okay, what do I want to do? I wonder if I can just pull up here. Angle snap. Something like this. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to change a little bit the RGB offset here because I don't need it to be, I don't want too much detail in here. I'm going to fade it out, darken it. I might even just scale up a little bit of the texture as well. So let's go to the base color here. I'm just going to something like this. If you want, we can add some, let's add a bump map. Okay, just let's not get too lazy about it. Actually, here, I just want to, let's make this a box. There we go. So that just kind of, the grain goes across. And then, we can add our bump map as well. So let's just kind of go over here to the, we'll look for normal, bump. Okay, we're going to bring in the bump map here. Let's do that. This. Just see, make sure. Oh, actually, sorry, I got the wrong thing here. It's because I'm using a normal map, so we don't want to use the bump map. We want to go in and use texture. Let's go in, or sorry, let's go back to bump, normal, input. And there we go. So now I got that more normal map. Strength, I'm going to bring that down about 0.5, maybe 0.1, just to give it a little something. Okay. All right, let's get this in a little bit more of an interesting position and see what we can come up with here. I'm going to close this off and let's bring these guys down 90 degrees. Get another one just for fun. So I'm going to rotate it this way. notice that the the popsicle sticks are a little bit too dark. So let's just bring those back up. Something like that. I was trying to fade it off, but that wasn't working too well. So let's just let's keep it at that. Okay, I want to bring this guy down a little bit, so it looks like it's hitting the ground. So it hits the ground about here. Like that. Nice. Okay, so let's bring up the floor a bit. Just find a nice angle. Something like this. Create a camera by hitting Control-C. Actually, I like the red floor there, but we can brighten it up by adding a white surface here, kind of like a studio. You can make a really cool looking ad going like this, doing this. So there's lots of options here. Actually, don't mind the blue. Looks cool. And if you want, you can play with the lighting a bit using the HDR. So if I come in, go to our HDR setting here, just try to, if I rotate this, angle. You guys can get some pretty cool looks. The looks like to me that the subsurface is working quite nice. Yeah, like that. Obviously, we can add some more lights and light it up a little bit more, and we can start to really play with the settings here. You know, we could go to our color correction here and start to mess with the gamma, brighten up the image. But yeah, guys, this is great. Even add some more saturation a bit, and this is where you can really start to get some realism. If we want to, we can to get it so that you get a little bit more of a macro vibe. We can select our camera, and we can add some depth of field. So we enable the depth of field here, and then what we're going to do from our camera's point of view, as we're viewing it down here, we can drag the target distance up till we get to the ice pops here, and then we can say, give me a 1.2 aperture. It's kind of neat. Maybe maybe a 2. Well, a little bit of fall off, but nothing crazy. We can position this the way we want. We have to kind of get it to the floor. But you get what I'm saying here. Like, this is a good way to set up some product shots if you need to, and play around and see what you can come up with. Let's see if I can get a better looking camera angle here. It works for me. All right, let's get a full render and see what we've created here. Alright guys, here we have it. This is our final product, and this is looking really good, really realistic. You could see that the translucency or the subsurface materials working well. We have a nice little bit of a noise map here, or a displacement going on. I would say I would tweak this a little bit if I was to go back on this, but it looks pretty good for this shot, and with the depth of field and everything, this is a very believable product shot that you could use. I love the blue backdrop that I added to it, just gave us a little bit more contrast, but this really turned out well. I hope you guys learned a lot from this tutorial, and you can go on and make your own. And you could see here, even with the gradient part of the map, what I've done off camera was I just noticed that I didn't add any noise to the transitions between the colors. So what I've done was I went in and added some noise here to both maps. As you can see, I've added noise to break up some of those the hard line, just so that it kind of gave us a little bit of some breakup there. You know, just give us a little bit more realism. It wasn't too strong of a line. So also too, with the material, that looks really good. I am very happy with the results. So I hope you guys are too, and you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And feel free to contact me or throw a comment below if you need any to know any or have any questions about this tutorial. I'll help out as best I can. But for now, thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned for more Render Spaz videos. Check out some more of my videos on the channel, as I'll be coming up even with more in the future. So, all right guys, thanks so much for watching. Take care and see you again.